Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of Girls Play 2. I'm joined by members of the Western Star Sports Club, better known as the Dandy Stars for the young ladies or for the ladies. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. First of all, good evening, ladies. How are you?
Good evening. My name is Coach Shay.
My name is Evans and I'm 10 years old.
You're like 10? You're 11.
Just started already. Go ahead.
I'm next?
Yes,
Oh.
go on.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Shonat Pirot. I'm currently the youth coordinator of Dennytown Youth Academy and coach of the girls teams.
Okay. And Shante?
Good evening. I'm Coach Shante.
Good evening. My name is Nyesha and I'm 14 years old.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Evening. My name is Sydney Dankins and I'm 10 years old.
All righty. And last but not least.
Evening, my name is Chiaja Rudo. I'm 15 years old.
Evening. My name is Siam Rudo and I'm 12 years old.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with you, Shonette, as the coordinator of youth at the Western Star Sports Club, Dandytown. How it's been quite a ride for you. You've been around this organization for quite some time.
Yep.
How did you get involved?
Involved in football on the field or just involved
in football? In football.
In football, wow, I've always loved football. So I started off playing in the girls' league, I should say women's league, when we first started way back in the early 1990s. Mm-hmm. And then we transferred over to the Dennytown Hornets, and we became Dandy Stars. And then that's how it pretty much evolved from there. So I've been there for, I would say, involved in football for the last 30 years.
And what has been the transition from player to on the coaching side and administration side? How has that transition worked for you?
It's been pretty smooth because as I was a player, I also was part of the administration at the club. So during that time, I was secretary at one point. I was on management. So I just tried to, balance both. So it wasn't after when I finished playing football, then I went into the management part of it. I was always a part of all of it. Later on, like probably after 10 years of playing football, I got into on management. So, and then it just grew from there.
Good. Well, let me ask you, Coach Shay, what has got you involved in the coaching aspect of Dandy Stars?
No, definitely my daughter. Prior to coaching at Dandy Stars, I coached a team, Wolves Girls. While I was teaching at Elliott, I basically had a girls team out of my students, and I coached Wolves Girls. And then we relocated to Pembroke, and I just wanted a club that was in Pembroke. And I was a parent. I had packed up my coaching, and I just couldn't help myself, I guess. So Evans, she was about 4. So she's been probably involved for like 7 years now.
Okay. And your time there, how has that been thus far, moving clubs?
Oh, amazing. Western Star Sports Club is amazing. It's a really, really good club, especially from the youth aspect. That's really the part that I could speak from. Man, I have no complaints. I love it. I feel at home. I felt welcomed coming in there. So yeah, happy to be a part of it, and I plan on always being a part of it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the smiler next to you. Playing in a team sport, how has that adjusted? And is this the only sport that you play?
I like the team sport a lot better because you could bond and you could also have other people to play with. And I also do cycling and I run for fun and do netball.
Oh, okay, so you're well versatile in different sports. Which one would you say you have the most fun at? Not that you're the most serious at, the most fun at.
Netball.
Okay, all right, all right. Shantae, I know you've been involved in football for quite some time. Now, going from a player to the coaching side, how has that transition worked for you?
It was pretty smooth, not entirely, I guess wanted isn't quite the best word, but I mean, I would always still love to play, but I had my own like injuries and things that kind of hindered that, but it was pretty smooth. I actually got my license while I was in uni, so I had started coaching abroad first. So when I came back, I always knew that if I was going to be a coach, I would always go back home and give back to the club that gave so much to me.
Now, you've had your challenges with injuries as a player as well, but how does that kind of set your mind up that if one of these youngsters get injured, you can give them like firsthand knowledge, no matter what the injury is, because you fought through so many injuries, you can give them firsthand knowledge that not to give up, just keep carrying on.
And I do, because I have quite a few, players who have like the rolled ankles and things like that. And those are smaller injuries compared to, some of the ones I had to go through. But having been in university and having experienced those smaller injuries, I can also say, okay, well, here's what my trainer used to do with me. So, try this at home. To help them quickly recover, because they're so young, they still love football so much and they want to be out there all the time. So it's good to be able to help them get back out there as quickly as possible.
And I'm going to ask the young lady sitting next to you, what are some of the things you like about football?
I really like just being with people and like building bonds, because I like to have more friends that are boys than girls. So I just really like bonding with them and everything.
Do you find that a little more challenging playing with the boys?
It can be sometimes, but yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, good stuff. I'm gonna ask Sydney, why did you pick football?
My daddy.
Yeah.
So what do you say? You were forced to play football?
No.
No. What position do you play?
All of them, but mostly goalkeeper.
Oh, okay. And why goalkeeper? Very technical position.
I like to save girls.
Oh, all right. Nothing wrong with that. Well, you guys have got you got your stopper. You got your stopper. And the two young ladies here. Let's go with the youngest one first. Why did you pick football?
I picked football because when I was young, I always saw people playing and watching games because my daddy watched them, and it looked really cool and fun, so I decided to play.
And your first attempt at it, you had fun with it?
Yes.
Okay. And what about you? Did you really enjoy it the first time you went out?
The first time I went out, I was really scared because I felt like I started too late, like I was too old to really get into it. And I already played like sports before, so I was worried and I didn't want to mess up. But when I started, I really liked it, like more than my other sports.
What other sports did you play?
I run track, I play netball, I dance, and I play tennis.
Oh, so you're busy. How do you manage all that time though? Are you still active in those other sports? What before COVID?
Yes, I manage them all because it's like you have to have a balance of everything. And I've just always been like this. So like it's just been my schedule my whole life. It's all I really know.
Okay. And Sydney, let me ask you, how do you balance football, school, and any other activities that you have?
It's good because I don't do any other activities.
Okay. So goalkeeping's your life outside of school. Now, Shanette, when you have a group of young people that are dedicated to training and playing and making life easy to get a team together, what are some of the challenges the club has as far as making sure that the girls are treated as equal as the boys?
That's a good question. Sydney wants to answer. Sydney, is going to go. I would say it's just about, for me with all the teams and especially the girls, it's just about them coming and feeling, a sense of camaraderie and just being together. I try to do a lot of different other things with them when we can, like different socials, and just letting them know that everything's good. We're there for them. They can come to have fun. We try not to be as too serious, so they're able to just come in and be themselves, really. So it's good in that aspect for the girls and boys.
Yeah, Coach Shea, what is different between what you were doing at Wolves as opposed to what you're doing at Dandy Stars?
Well, at Wolves, when I was there at the time, the youth program was really struggling. So the girls' team was really one of the only teams. So I didn't necessarily have the support of coaches and players, that unity that you find at a club. Here at Dandytown, it's just more family. I'm more involved. You know what I mean? I work on the flyers. There are just more things that you could do to be an active part of it, and just trying to make all of those pieces fit together for the betterment of the whole club. So that's the biggest thing, is that I do a little bit more with Dandy Stars, but not grudgingly, very ungrudgingly.
Shay is definitely my right hand girl.
Well, we saw a lot of the right hand before we started, so I know what you mean.
Hey, that was between us.
I'm going to come back to you, Coach Shea, because I want to ask, what position do you play on the field? Smiler. No, Smiler. She keeps smiling, so I'm going to call her Smiler.
Any position but goalkeeper.
You're versatile like that.
And center
If you had to pick one position, what would that one position be?
Probably defender.
Why is that?
Because it makes me feel like I'm doing more work and someone isn't shouting at me.
Well, we'll leave those two right there. But and let me ask you two, how much has football changed your way of life at a young age? Because obviously, when you get involved in something, it kind of takes over. And you can answer first, the older one.
I could definitely say that football made me happier, because like when I go to training, I actually have fun compared to my other sports. Not that I don't have fun, but it's like when I came to football, I feel like more relaxed, like I'm actually enjoying myself and what I'm doing. So I guess it's really made my life like happier and easier, and it's not as stressful.
Okay. What about your sister?
For football, in my other sports, sometimes it's like the person can like stand out more in the game, but football, I feel like it's more about the teamwork and one person helping out the other to get the goal at the end of the day. So I like the teamwork effort, and it's just making good bonds with people and learning how to work together.
Good stuff. Sydney, let me ask you, what type of attitude do you have when you're playing in girl? Because some goalkeepers are loud, they like to boss people around, others kind of quiet. What type of attitude do you have when you're in girl?
I'm just quiet. Sometimes they like move around a lot, but I'm just quiet.
You're just a quiet one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Enough of all that. Shante, with giving instructions throughout, looking at the expectation, because some coaches have a bit of, well, sometimes they have too much expectations of what a youngster should be able to do. How do you control that for yourself to be able to deliver the message that what they're capable of doing, what you're asking them to do?
So most of that comes from watching them in practice and learning what each individual is capable of. I try to organize my practices in a way that I can actually see the individual more than just how they operate within the team. Also, I tend to coach most of the players for at least 2 years, so that also helps with getting to see how they play, and then when we get in a game, what I can expect from them. I feel like their parents would say I expect too much based on what they see on Saturdays, but I mean, me seeing them, 2-3 times a week in practice, I I literally focus on what I know they're capable of. I try never to ask more of them than what I know they can give. And pretty much by the end of the season, most of my parents come up to me and they say, okay, I see why, you were pushing them, week in, week out, because, I see things that they can't having coaching them.
Young lady, can you give me explain to me what you think about the coach sitting next to you? Be honest.
At first, I felt that she was a very pushy coach because even though we're family, she could shout at me more. Like when I was playing on her team, I was always getting shouted at. So it was rough, but it helped me in the long run because now I understand why she done it. And then the talks at home. So yeah.
I mean, she's my niece.
Explain.
I was trying to make her a prodigy, trying to make her better than me. So I definitely pushed her more than the other players. She didn't get any slack.
Explain a little more in detail, like when it first was going on. Did you have the conversation, or did she have the conversation that you're pushing me too hard, or you're asking me to do too much?
I mean, she would get attitudes like a normal child, but she wouldn't really necessarily tell me that I was pushing her too hard. She might tell her papa, who's her biggest confidant, but she wouldn't never really tell me directly. I could see it in her attitude, but for me, I was like, well, you're my niece. I want you to be great at football, better than me, and go further than what I did. So I kind of ignored her.
Of course. Shanette, having this group of coaches and young ladies, obviously it's a big bond. How long did it take for that to actually come about? Because these things just don't happen overnight.
No, not at all. I would say when I first started the girls program back in 2007, I started because actually the coach at the time, Don Lewis, and we had daughters, and my daughter was like 7, and I was also playing the senior team, Denny Stars, and we just put our heads together to say, look, if we want Denny Stars to continue after I'm finished, let's put together a girls youth team. So we did that. So it's been since 2007 that the girls program has come about. And each year, I would say it's growing from strength to strength. It did stop for 1 year in between. But since then, since we got, when we started back up with Coach Shea, when I started back up with Coach Shea, which was 3 years ago, this is our 4th year back with the girls program, is definitely going from strength to strength. The first year, Shantae was there as well. So it was Shantae and Shea. We had 2 teams. Now it's growing with 4 teams. We have other coaches that's come on board this year that were former Denny Stars players, Atia Simons and Janaea Barkley. So and then we have other ones that help out. My daughter actually, who when I started all, she's actually helping me now as a manager along PROT. And then we also have Siani Hall. So we're growing. I'm very, really proud of the girls, the ladies, the young women that's come in to help Dandy Stars, the girls program. I can say that our club embraces girls. We embrace women, and you can see that in our program. We hopefully that more girls will continue to come in, and more girls will give back to all girls football in Bermuda, right? And it's just a different experience with the girls. Like, we're more loving, I guess.
Mhm.
So it's just been great. So I'm really proud of that aspect of our program. Yeah.
Now let me ask you, because the boys side of the club has had a lot of success. Is it added pressure for the young ladies to have similar success early, or are you guys building towards that type of thing to make sure that it's a lasting success once you get there?
No, it's no pressure at all with the Denny Stars. I can say the senior Denny Stars, we really didn't have much success at all, to be honest, at trophies. But we was always in the runnings. I would say I shared the girls we have an extensive trophy cabinet. I can tell you, I'm not boastful, but Denny Stars, they but we have definitely given to a lot to the trophy cabinet. I'll just leave it at that. So it's we definitely have a lot that we're proud of. So there's no added pressure. It's just a mentality that we have within our teams, the no cost, no glory mentality. So while we don't go the stressing win, and we don't necessarily go to play to like win in that way, but it's definitely a part of the our mentality to go out there and do our best. So, and that's what comes with it.
Definitely. Someone did put in, you're an ambassador, and I've seen you with the brown and gold for so long. That's all you wear.
I know.
No, actually, Coach Shea came in wearing one set of gold. She just needed the brown to go with it. When you are coaching, and you got to start. Obviously, you said you got to start at school. Was it you just trying to give the girls something to do, as opposed something organized?
No, not necessarily. Back when the women's league existed, I played for Wolves girls. So then going to Elliott to teach, Wolves approached me and asked me if I would consider bringing back the girls program. I mean, I guess back then it was, if you stayed in Devonshire and you ran Elliott, you played for Wolves. So, I was there and happy to give back because I played for Wolves girls for years. So I definitely was happy to give that back to them that time. I had never really considered coaching, but it was a good experience, and here I am still at it. So, yeah.
And the one that you shouted at a lot.
Lies. Misunderstanding.
She's still shaking her head. No. But did you understand why you were kind of getting the extra attention from the sideline?
Yes, a little bit. Sometimes I thought it was too much, like she was overreacting. But other times I felt that at the end of the game, taking the advice helped me with scoring and defending.
Okay, all right. Now, Shantae, let me come to you and ask you this, because we see it week in and week out. There's always that dominance of parents trying to be the coach on a game day, when the coach is trying to get the players to do something different, what that you've worked on in training. How do you manage that part of it to ensure that the parents remain the parents and the coaches remain the coaches?
I mean, it's something we communicate early in the season. I mean, even during preseason matches. But, when you're a parent, you're just as passionate and you want to see your child be the best, do the best. So it goes out the window. So I have no problem standing in my spot and saying, excuse me, no, quiet. I tell the children during the game, no, listen to me. That's how I do it. I mean, because my parents, they forget very quickly, but they do know. But like I said, they're passionate too, so you understand. But I usually just during the game just shout out to them like, hey, no, like listen to your coach, listen to what I'm telling you.
And how does she verbalize that? I'm talking to you, young lady. How does she verbalize that? Because you say she was rough on you. How does she handle the parents?
If if the game is going good, then it'll be a little slight something, and just tell them be quiet. But then if the game is like we're losing, then it'll be a little push, and yeah.
And you could tell how things are depending on how the game's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In her voice,
In
definitely
okay.
her face, and her facial expressions.
Now let me ask you this
And her
question.
hands.
Oh, in her hands. Let me ask you this question. What about Coach Shay's action? I'm gonna put everybody up so I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yes.
I wouldn't say that it's as bad as my aunt is, because my auntie is bad, like really bad. But all coaches have their moments. Like, yeah.
All right. Sydney, let me ask you, what do you think of Coach Shantae?
She doesn't coach me, so I don't know what
You don't hear her over the other side of the field during
No.
training?
No.
Shantae, you gotta shout louder. Who coaches you, Sydney?
Coach Shay.
Oh, okay. Well, give us what you think of Coach Shay.
She shouts just because she wants to motivate us to do better.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the motivator, Coach Shay.
I am a motivator. It's not an aggressive. Rah! It's not that. It's like, come on, you guys, let's go. Come on.
I see the eyebrow. I see the eyebrows next to you raised. I see the eyebrows next to you.
Listen, I no longer coach my daughter. This is my daughter, and I haven't coached her for a while. So how she views me is as a parent on the side, not necessarily as a coach. So there are two different hats that you wear when you're a coach and versus when you're a parent on the side. But I will say that she has communicated that with me like years ago, and it's definitely, I got it and I understood. So it's just about changing that. And I hope that she would admit now that it's more of a joke, a laugh, more encouragement than it is like, come on. But it's really difficult when you're in that position and you see what your child is capable of, and you want them to do the best, and the kind of legging around, you get on them. So she hasn't had me as a coach for a while, but she will always have me as a parent.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna ask the two young ladies here. Who are your coaches?
My coach is on Shawnee.
Mine too.
Okay. What do you think of your coaches? How do they react to you guys as a team and as an individual?
On Shawnee, she's always very encouraging, and if anything she's saying on the side, even if it comes off not so pleasant, you always know that it's for you to do better. And if she's saying it, then you know you need to work on it. And it's not coming in a bad way; it's coming in a good way.
Yeah, I don't think anything she ever says is like aggressive or to like make us feel bad, but to like help us do better and help us to like do better in the game and win and to improve ourselves.
Okay, cool. Shonette, how often do you have like coaches meetings, and do you at times include the entire coaching staff? I'm talking men and women, to ensure that what you guys are trying to do, you're doing it collectively as a club.
Yes, definitely. We have all our coaches' meetings are inclusive of the program, right? Because it's Dennytown Youth Academy, so it's all the coaches that's included. And we go by a structure. We have a manual that we go by, or that we should go by, and then we have, we would have monthly. Well, it's kind of been broken up this year, as far as stop and go, but that was the intention, to have monthly get-togethers to discuss the program, the structure, and things like that. We have technical managers in place. We have a technical director, Aaron Dankins. So it's kind of been a revamp this year as far as the whole program. So yeah, we definitely get together or have been getting together by Zoom this year to just to give the program and what we're to do in our sessions and stuff like that. So it's been good.
And what are some of the difficulties? I know you said sometimes you guys do Zoom. How much more challenging is it when you're doing it via Zoom as opposed to doing it in person?
It's not really been that much challenging. I think Zoom's been an important tool to not just us, but a lot of different organizations. Whereas we can still get together and do something together face to face. And we can share the screen. You do a lot of different things, so you still get the knowledge. You still get the correspondence to get across to everyone, right? So it's not been that big of a challenge in my eyes. It's been okay. I mean, but nothing beats definitely in person, getting together, face to face. Nothing beats that. But I mean, Zoom's been okay.
Yeah, okay. Now to the players, how much have you missed football? Now that obviously the season's over, you guys had stopped for a while. How much have you missed it?
I miss football a lot because I didn't even get to play all the games this season because I got injured and I tore my ACL, so I only got one game. I haven't played in a long time, which it's not okay.
What about you, sis?
I do miss football because I miss not even the trainings, but having a game so you can put everything together that you worked on in training. Because sometimes you may feel that when you're training and then what is at the end, you wait for the game because that's what you train for. And then a lot of the players, the girls I play football with, I don't see them anywhere else, so I get to see them and have fun with them.
What about you, Sydney? What do you miss?
I miss playing with my friends, and I have nothing else to do.
Okay, all right. Your turn.
I just miss playing with my team because we make some great achievements while playing together, especially scoring goals.
Okay.
And I just miss seeing them because most of them I don't see on a regular. So it's really hard to, catch up and everything.
Okay. All right.
What I miss about football is I miss having fun and doing TikToks with the team. I also miss playing games, but since it's not really the only thing that I do, it was other things still to do, so I wasn't very inactive.
Okay, all right. For Shanette and the coaches, what are some of the things you guys are going to have to do over the course of this summer to ensure when you get these young ladies back for preseason? Hopefully, COVID is well, it won't be gone, but the restrictions have been lifted. What are you guys putting together to ensure that these young ladies, when they come back, you have them in some frame of mind that you're ready to go the minute they get back? And I'll start with you, Shanette.
In my mind, as I told the parents last year, our season's not totally over. So I still hope to get together to do, rather, we have to, or depending on what government says, but get together in some type of form to do something. But when we do finish for the season, we'll break. And then I'm pretty sure the coaches will come together before the season and lay out, structure to start. But it pretty much be on the same lines of what we normally do. We just probably have a couple months break and then start over. Get our registration going and go from there.
And Coach Shea, how are you approaching the off season in preparation for the new season?
I think one of the club's strong points, especially with the youth academy, is that they have socials and they don't stop because football stops. So I remember last season as we was gearing back up to start girls football, we had a picnic at the beach, and that kind of brought us all together. So I think just keeping ourselves available as coaches, possibly hopping on a few Zoom sessions with our team, just to keep the engagement going is going to be key to keeping their interest in football and wanting them to come back to play for our club.
Okay. And what about you, Coach Sante?
We recently discussed it as a club, and although we're taking a bit of a break right now, we don't actually plan on stopping completely until around the normal time we would stop. So I would say like late April, early May. So we're hoping to at least have some inter-club, games and things to keep the kids engaged, rather than, completely stop now. But as Shawnette already mentioned, it's all, based on hopefully on what government guidelines say. So hopefully we can kick back off in a week or so and keep them engaged until summer break, and then pick back up end of August, and hopefully we can have a semi-normal season, even though we know COVID won't be going anywhere anytime soon.
Now, this will be the second year that these young ladies would have missed what is the March tournament? Kappa. How disappointing is it for you young ladies? I know a lot of young people wait for that tournament every year. So how difficult has it been not being able to play this particular event for a second year in a row?
Last year I was like so ready, like I was so excited, I was looking forward to it. And I've never played Kappa before because I only started playing last season. So I was like excited and I was ready, and then I didn't get to play, so I was just really sad.
What about you?
I've had like maybe 3 or 2 Kappas, and it was really fun because so many people come to watch you play, and it's like a rush of feeling when everybody's cheering on the side. And like my sister said, I was really prepared, and then it was disappointing to know that it wouldn't happen anymore. So I'm looking forward to the next one whenever it is.
Okay. What about you, Sydney? Have you played in Kappa?
Yes.
Yeah. Were you disappointed?
Yes, I was, because I like playing against other teams and other people watching me play.
Okay. It's a lot of people watching Kappa.
Yeah.
Any pressure? Any added pressure?
No, not really.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. And did you miss Kappa?
Yes, but I don't really play with the girls for Kappa, so I really missed it to show off what my boys team can do, because we get doubted a lot, but we're the best. But yeah, I miss it a lot because I haven't played Kappa since Lourdes band.
Now, how many times have you played Kappa then?
Since I was able to play Kappa, whatever age group it started at. So yeah,
Okay.
for the
And
boys.
you've always played with the boys in Kappa?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. And
I missed Kappa a lot because since we had won the year before that, I had a good feeling about this one. But to find out that it wasn't gonna happen, it wasn't really that sad for me because I felt that it was a chance to get better and be ready for the next one.
okay, cool. Now, Shawnette, as an organization that has a lot of young people, Kappa is kind of the end of season mega event that kind of everybody gears up for the youngsters. How difficult is it to keep the players motivated throughout the year, with the possibility of it not happening again? Obviously, it's not going to happen this year, or it's not going to happen around the time it usually happens. But how difficult is it to keep the players and parents, because so many parents get up for it as well, motivated to actually play a game?
Well, last season, because they asked from day one when it's Kappa, which is very, very, I wouldn't say irritating, but it's very, just, we got the season to play through. But they really look forward to Kappa. I totally get it. So last year was very disappointing. This year they probably will still ask, and some of them when we was on break, January, February, it's like we told them it's no kappa. I think they pretty much accepted it, as far as that. So it's still disheartening, but they accepted it as far as no kappa this year.
Yeah,
so it wasn't a big deal,
right,
or disappointment, because they kind of knew, or the parents might have told them that it was no kappa.
right. And Coach Shea, for you, I mean, trying to make sure that your girls stay positive throughout. What are some of the things you were doing to ensure that they were staying in the right frame of mind in the event that they were going to be allowed to play another competitive game in a short space of time?
I just think that you just keep doing what you do, not specifically preparing for Kappa or preparing for any one championship, but just keeping them training. I coach the under-9 girls, the under-9 stars, and one of the challenges has been just kind of having players that haven't played before coming in at what could be considered an older age, even at under-9. So really working with players who've never touched the ball, and the very next year they're going up an age group. For me, with Kappa, I mean, the last time we had Kappa, my team won, so I'm still the defending champion. So, I would gladly wear that crown.
Defending champion for the 3rd year in a row without kicking a ball. What about you, Shantae, with the group that you have?
In Kappa, I usually coach the boys team. I'm currently the under-9s coach, and my team, to be honest, hasn't really asked about it this year. I'm sure they probably just knew it wasn't going to happen, but recently in practices, we've kind of switched from it just being out and out training to having games against our U11s, or games even against our U7s, to keep them engaged and excited about the prospect of playing football again. But
yeah, Shonette, the change from with the club now going through this transition of getting the field up and running and the work going on and so forth. How has the transition been to the training at I guess you train at Barkley now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we train at Barkley and West Pembroke. It's been really good. We moved our programs into 3 fields actually. We first started off at Northlands with our younger ones, our U5s and U7s. And West Pembroke, we had our U9s and U11s. And the older ones, U13, 15, and 17, we had at, this is the boys, we had at Barkley. And the girls started off at Northlands, right? And we still were training at the club until January, I believe. And then we was also at BFA field for the girls. So right now we're back at West Pembroke for the girls. So we're fortunately enough that we've been able to go to the school fields, right? We're working on some things with them. They agreed to have us. And so it's been okay, transitioning over to the school fields. It's a change, is a better change as far as training at a school field. So I think it's been welcomed by parents and coaches alike. It's been good.
Yeah, the fact that I know it's only temporary, but the fact that it's split up, does that make it a little more challenging, or does that allow you to focus just solely on your group when it comes to those training sessions?
For me, first breaking it up because I tried to be at all these sessions. So I was at first doing a lot of running around, especially going to Northlands, then going to West Pembroke, going to Barkley. It's quite a challenge, but it's been okay. But the last, I guess, this year, we've been all at Barkley on Saturdays training. So it's definitely been nice to all be together. You get to see, everyone gets to see other players and parents and mingle and stuff like that. So it's been good. On a whole, it's been good.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to the players now. What's the best advice you've had given to you by any one of your coaches thus far?
They tell me to pick my head up when I'm dribbling because I don't do that, and sometimes it makes me lose the ball. And so I think that's very helpful advice for me.
What about you?
And for me, telling me not to dive in when I'm trying to get the ball from a player, just to see where they're gonna go first.
Okay. And Sydney, what's the best advice beginning to you?
One goes, one stays. And,
Okay.
yeah, and then to pick up your head.
Okay. So you've been taught from young, the one that goes across, the other one don't. It's either the ball or the net?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's start. What about you?
I think every opportunity is an opportunity. Sometimes I don't like when he says it too much, but it will one day it will help out a lot.
Okay. And you?
To never give up on your teammates, because some games, I'm not gonna lie, I do get frustrated and stuff and just want to walk off the field and go, but I don't give up.
Okay. Is that what sticks in the back of your mind? Never give up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so let me break this down. What are some of the things that you don't like that frustrate you the most about your team?
It's more so like when we're all going at each other,
Mm.
and like if someone doesn't complete a pass during a game, or I'm wide open and then they decide to turn around and go to a not very safe option, and yeah, that frustrates me a little, but I've learned to deal with it a lot. So.
Mm. Okay, Coach Shante, that's a Bermuda thing. We tend to, when things are not going our way, we tend to want to point fingers, even if we're making the bad mistakes. As a coach, how do you sort that out right at the start of it?
I mean, at my age group, just getting the players to talk is a struggle. So, I mean, they don't say much to each other. So it would probably be more so at the older age groups where my niece is now, where I mean the passion kind of takes over a bit, and may come off as a bit harsh. But yeah, at my age group, they barely talk to each other, so I don't have to deal with it much.
Okay, and Coach Shay, what about you?
What can you repeat the question?
When they're going at each other, how do you manage? Because one thing about players, when things are not going their way, they tend to point fingers at each other. As a coach on the sideline, how do you address that?
I mean, I feel, to be honest, working with Dandy Stars, I don't see that much. Actually, I feel that the girls really get along pretty well. I think I see that more maybe when my daughter's playing with the boys. That seems to be more of a, I don't want to say an ego thing, but it's definitely more prevalent, I feel, in the male game. I feel that Dandy Stars and the girls' game is very light towards each other. A lot of them are coming with that same level of experience. So the pressure isn't there to perform. Everybody's just working on getting better. So I guess from Nayeja, who's with Shantae and Evans, I guess they could speak from playing with the boys being a little bit different than when they're playing with the girls and the pressure that they might feel, especially from their teammates.
Okay, cool. Shanette, hearing some of this stuff, how important is it for you as the youth coordinator to ensure that when the girls are playing with the boys in their teams or against them, that you know what I mean, that competitive level is good, but it's also taken in the context of trying to get the girls to be a little stronger, and the expectation isn't what the guys are looking for?
For me, as far as that, I mean, I would hope and wish that the girls could do what they have to do. Like, don't shy off because they're playing with the boys. I mean, a lot of times I see that, whereas particular outings. She might do something with the girls that she can do with the boys, but she might shy off a bit with the boys, things like that. Actually, and I'm proud of my girls. We had a game against the boys team last week, 2 weeks ago now, and they were just, a lot of them didn't want to play. They didn't want to play because they just felt that they were playing against the boys. They played, and at the end of the day, they want to do it again, because it's just a matter of letting them know that, yes, boys are maybe more physical, they may be more this and more that, but at the end of the day, you're a player just like them, and you can do everything they can do with the ball and more so. So, it's just about encouraging them in that way, and letting them know that a player is a player to me.
Okay. All right. I know, and everybody watching knows what Dandytown's motto is, but are you guys ready to put it together?
Yes.
There's a lot of silence. There's a lot of silence.
What do you mean?
Your chance before your game.
You want us to do the chat?
Yes, please. Unmute your mics.
Who's leading
Listen.
this? You leading, Shay?
No, I'll give that to Sioma.
Oh yeah, she. Yeah.
It's the
She's the
Sioma.
one.
Okay, ready?
Back.
Wait, can
Oh,
you see
Lord.
us again?
Pardon?
How does it start again?
No guts. No guts. No glory. No guts. Yeah, you got it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
No guts.
No glory.
No, wait. Now, come on. Now, you have to do this every single time. You really don't say no guts because we're going to say no glory. It's no guts, so we can say no glory. Like, you're going to say Lala. Come on,
Okay.
Come on, see.
No guts.
No glory.
No guts.
No
No
glory.
glory.
Special people do.
Special things.
Special people do.
Special things.
What time is it?
Summertime.
What time is it?
Summertime.
Anytime.
One, two, three.
Stop.
Well,
Like
I
Well,
think,
ladies,
I think
do
it was
want
the
to thank
audio.
you very much.
No,
Sorry?
I think it was the audio that kind of messed us up a
Delayed?
bit. Yeah,
Okay.
delayed. Okay, because it's
No.
normally faster, but I'm gonna blame that on your audio.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. I can take that.
Okay.
I do want to thank you very much for your time. You guys have made a lot of people's night tonight, just sharing your messages, and you should be proud of these young ladies and their teammates as well.
Definitely.
And we look forward to when you guys get back on the field. Hopefully, we can come out and see you guys perform to the best of your ability.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you for the
definitely.
opportunity.
Thank
All right.
you
Thank you.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
for having us.
Folks,
Thank
enjoy the
you.
rest of your night.
You too.
Thank you.
You too.